The Hong Kong-Macau Trophy with two visiting raiders. 1,400 metres the trip is a Class 1 contest. Joyful Trinity heads and blinkers on for the first time, and Responsibly from barrier 5. Romantic Touch, who won in Dubai. The Golden Age rolled forward in the derby. Barrier 14 though for him. Super Fluke goes up in class. He's won 5 of 7 so far this season. Magic Legend, cheek pieces go on. Marble Tribe goes up in class. Clown a Star for the visitors. Calculation will roll from barrier 4, and Christ Trump as well. Petrol Joints also gets a start, of course. Victory Megastar is out. So we've made our way to the touchscreen to have a look at this one, Brett's. How are they going to play out? Calculation probably went too hard in front last time. Takes a drop in trip here.
He does, and we probably established that he might be a better horse potentially on the all-weather track, but he's still very capable on the turf. We know Marble Tribe is a horse that would probably like to go forward in the Golden Age as well. However, with the distance being 1,400 metres, it might put some pressure on the Golden Age to have the necessary tempo. Magic Legend, California Whip can both posse up. And then you get back in the field, the two Macau horses potentially might be back, although in the past we've seen a few of them go forward. I actually like Racing Supernova. I think he's very close to a win. He might even be looking for that spot there in front of Magic Legend. The other possibility is this horse here, Romantic Touch, rolling forward too, like he did in Macau, when he was able to find the front and lead all the way.
There's $1 million pot waiting for him at that winning line as well, Paul. What have you seen in the mornings?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, would you? That'd be quite good, wouldn't it? Well, the first one we're going to have a look at is Super Fluke. He's the interesting runner because he's going to step up to 1,400 metres for the first time, but he's a last start winner. He's in great form this season. He's won 5 of his 7 starts. So, look, he's really flying, this horse. Just the distance was a little query I had, but Magic Legend, nice quiet piece down the back straight. They've tried different various trips with him from 1,000 up to 1,400 metres. We're going to try the cheek pieces on him there. You can see he's working with them, and Jack Purden just giving the horse a feel of these cheek pieces down the back. A Calculation, he's a horse that has been running well, albeit on the all-weather, but he has run okay on the turf as well. So another versatile horse. He should run okay. So yeah, it's quite an intriguing race here.
All right, we'll start with Romantic Touch, winning leg 1. The Macau Hong Kong Trophy. On speed, as you mentioned, Brett, on this occasion, he was just way too good. Yeah,
and you can see Chris Trump was right up there on the pace with him. So potentially, we looked at the speed map, had both the Macau horses back, but Chris Trump from barrier 8 is the option, potentially, of rolling forward. And the comments I was reading about the Macau horses before all 4 of them came over was that he was the pick of the bunch, clearly. And on that performance, you can see why. But he's got a bit to find on Romantic Touch, which would suggest that he's probably got a bit to find on most of these.
You can see it was, that particular day was really favouring front runners. We did the simulcast, didn't we? And Romantic Touch got his own way. Well, he got to the front, and Catch Me If You Can. He'll find it a lot harder in this, and I can't see Chris Trump finishing in the placings, to be honest.
All right, but Romantic Touch did back it up to a certain extent last time out with this good effort behind What Else But You, who's a scratching out of this race.
I think the key with Romantic Touch is a little bit of given the ground really suits him, and you could see they were coming up with a bit of give was giving up. All his good runs and the ones he's won impressively in Macau have been on the wet tracks. Racing Supernova, when he gets luck, he's been an unlucky horse, this one. He should have won a lot more races. But when he does get into the clear, he hits the line very strongly.
Yeah, I've got both these two in my top 4 selections. I'm actually going to side with Racing Supernova from the good draw. I think this is a great opportunity for him to potentially pick up a race. He's been racing well without winning. You watch that replay, you'd clearly have Romantic Touch over him, but I think maybe from the barrier he can turn that around.
All right, Super Fluke's come up as our favourite at this stage. He's had a great season, but the wins have come over 12. This is 1,400. Yeah,
7 starts for 5 wins, I mentioned before. He always looks like 1,400 is going to not be a problem for him. He hit the line strongly enough here. I've got him in for second. I was just a little bit worried about the 1,400, but he's in great form, this horse, and he's working really well and moving nicely.
He is, and I'm taking nothing away from his efforts this season. He's been a fabulous horse for all concerned, but the wins have been at 1,200. This is 1,400. So for me, I'm going to look elsewhere. I don't think it'll be far away, but for that reason, I'll stay out.
All right, Calculations, the last one we're going to have a look at. This is him running second, but he bolted up with 132 pounds on his back earlier in the season. He's got 113 pounds on Saturday.
Yeah, if Super Fluke can show a little bit of versatility in distance like this guy's shown in surface and distance, then he could win it. Calculation's going to have a very light weight. He was run down by Divine Boy. I actually do think he's more effective on the all-weather now from what I've seen of him, but he's also a horse that's won on the turf. He's going to jump, he's going to run, he's going to give you a good sight.
Yeah, he's going up in the ratings a bit, isn't he, with those wins on the turf and with wins on the all-weather. I didn't get to find a place for him, but I think he'll run okay.
All right, okay. One more of the overseas raiders to look at. Kelowna Star. Now, this is him actually winning. As mentioned before, he was last in the Macau Hong Kong Trophy, but this is him in winning form.
Yeah, and on the sand over there at Taipa, look, he's a horse that, you know, most people should probably be reasonably familiar with. We've seen a fair bit of him over the years. Look, he's going to get a good barrier here. Wayne Smith aboard. He needs to lift on his recent form. I find it difficult to paint him in too bright a light.
Yeah, agree. He's very hard to put in.
Right.
He needs a deluge to have any chance whatsoever.
Yeah.
All right, so we're confident the trophy stays at home, but with who?
Well, I'm going to go with Racing Supernova. As I said, he's really been unlucky, this horse. When he doesn't, he's been held up on numerous occasions in his racing luck. So he does need that luck. If he does get it all his own way, we know he's a pretty good horse. He's come up a good price there at $14 as well. So he's probably a touch of overs. Super Fluke, if he cops the 1400, he's going to be very hard to beat. Look, I found a spot for Magic Legend. He has been placed over this distance. He's a super fit horse. This will be his 14th run this season. The cheek pieces on seem to focus him up a little bit, so we'll give him a chance. In California Whip, Tony Cruz's horses are flying at the moment, and if Neil Cowan can get him into a nice forward position, I think he can finish off well. It's quite an open race, though. I went 5, 6, 8 and 7. I'd be playing exotics.
I went with him as well, Paul, Racing Supernova. I just think the barrier, he has been racing well. I think Joyful Trinity's got all the class here, and he is a horse who was third 2 starts ago behind Southern Legend. You know, we're talking about sort of Group 1 company here, and now we're talking Class 1. Yes, he's got the weight, blinkers go on. He's taken some time to come back to his full soundness and full fitness, but he's got a fair bit on these engine-wise, I would have thought. Calculation, he's got the light weight, and he's still improving, and Romantic Touch has been there before and done it. So 5, 1, 12, 2. I'm happy to play the 5 on an each-way basis. And leave it at that, Andrew.
All right. Yeah, Joyful Trinity. Hopefully you'll get an each-way price about him as well. $6.50 at the moment. Hopefully that continues just to drift out a little bit more. 2 more races to go then. Race 9 is up next. A fascinating sprint down the 1,000 metres.